Ross. I'm the Director of Community and Neighborhood Development, and you're joining us for another episode of Metro Musings. Tonight we're going to talk about weeds and landscaping around your house. So I'm here with two Committee of Architecture members. We have Rick Dickerson, and he's actually running for the Metro Board as well. And I have Jen Mitchell, who is our COA Secretary. So thank you both for joining me today. So we're just gonna jump in with some questions that we hear a lot from the public when it comes to weeds and rocks and new home builds and landscaping. So first, Jennifer, if you wouldn't mind telling us, the Committee of Architecture is responsible for enforcing the Declaration of Reservations, or I like to call them covenants, and sometimes it's around aesthetics. So what does that mean when we're talking about weeds and landscaping? What does that mean with aesthetics?
So aesthetics really means making it look nice. You know, we want to see nice landscaping, nice rocks, nice trees, some nice bushes. Obviously, the trash is not a good thing to have. But, you know, when you're talking about landscaping a new property, any type of improvement that you do to just the plain dirt is really aesthetically pleasing to most. And anything you can do to improve is definitely aesthetically pleasing to everyone.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. And so Rick, let's just dive into it. So I want to build a new home. What landscaping is required for a homeowner or a contractor? What do I have to do?
Well, we have the landscaping for a new home. Right away there is no rules. What we have in our declaration is that after the home is built, that the ground cover, any disturbed ground, needs to be reclaimed. What we would prefer is that we at least get something on there, and that is mainly for the dust control. So, and try to keep weeds away. That's pretty much what we have in our covenants.
Okay, is there a timeline? So as I'm building my house, and sometimes it might sell really quickly, but like when do I have to settle the dirt and put everything kind of back?
We give you it in there right now. It is at 10 months. So right now we're at 10 months where it needs to be done within 10 months. And that should be the landscaping, the ground cover we need as soon as the house is done.
Okay, so I am not required as a homeowner or contractor to do an elaborate zero-scape plan on my new home build. That's not correct?
We like you to. I mean, it's the aesthetics. The more you do, the better it is. But for us, all that we do is ask that you try to, you know, do something nice and not leave it as just dirt.
Okay. So what if I'm a current homeowner, I've lived there a while and I'm looking to upgrade my property. So now I want to put in a deck, and I do want to put in that rockscape that maybe I couldn't afford that first year that I bought my home. So what process do I need to go through? Do I need approval, Jennifer, to put those things on my property?
So the rock and the landscaping, if you decide to put grass, trees, that type, you do not have to have approval for. If you do want to put in a deck or you want to make changes like that, maybe you want to put in a nice new she shed out back. Those are the types of things that you have to have approval for through the Committee of Architecture.
Okay, and so I would call the the staff, probably at the front desk, and work through an application to get on the agenda.
Correct.
Okay, great. And so sometimes we hear about fences. So I know fences are something maybe you want to build in a little area that's around your patio and get some privacy. So Rick, talk about fences. How tall can they be? Where can they be on the property? Are there restrictions for fences?
Yes, there are. As far as a privacy fence or any kind of fences, we need to have them behind the house. As far as the front of the house, they need to be behind the front of the house. They cannot be over 6 feet tall. You could get a variance if you would like an 8-foot tall fence. but what we require is at least a 6-foot fence. Same thing, you would have to go through and get an application and fill out an application for the fence.
Okay, and that's the same for a variance. So that's a different application that they can fill out. And then it would require a mailing to the neighbors to make sure that they're aware that there's a new rule that could be approved. If that fence, you know, you thought it was going to be 6 feet, but your neighbors didn't need to know, hey, it's going to be a little bit taller, so that they have a chance to voice their concern or problem with it, I guess.
Yes, that's very correct. And again, that would just be where you would do the same thing. You fill out the application. You're asking for an 8-foot fence. The staff would tell you, then you would need a variance. And like you said, they would go out to the neighbors for approval.
Okay, good. That's good to know. And so that brings up another topic, Jen. So I've noticed, you know, sometimes when I'm driving down the street or taking a walk, like some people's weeds are just crazy, out of control. And, you know, this house is great, this house is not. This house has weeds, this house has trash, or cars parked, or even a bus. I saw a bus the other day. So do you guys help with that stuff too?
We do. So you can actually contact our staff, and they can notify the homeowner that, you know, that there was an issue, but the other way to do it is actually through our website. You go out to our Pueblo West website. We also have an app that you can go to, and you can actually put in your complaint right into the app and put the address, what the issue is, and then the staff will follow up with those as well. And it is a kind of a lengthy process sometimes to get them to come in and see us at the Committee of Architecture meetings that we have, but we do reach out to each of them and tell them that they're in violation.
Okay, so you're right. There is quite a process where staff goes out and take pictures, talks to the homeowner, gives them 2 weeks to comply, and if they don't, then there's a hearing, and then depending on the situation, that they may have an extension or not. So I may, from the day I fill out that form on the website to seeing completion of resolution of the weeds being trimmed or the trash, it could be a while.
It could be.
Internal process that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I think that's important to know, because sometimes you see it and you don't see it fixed right away, and I know that can be frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And so one last question, I think, Rick. So am I allowed, if I've got a utility easement or even an equestrian easement on my property, can I landscape in that or build a fence if it looks like it's never been used? Am I allowed to build or landscape around that?
You cannot build a fence. The purpose of the easement is for usually it's utility easement or a horse aquarium easement. That means it is accessible by the public. So if you feel that most people think that it's theirs, but it isn't. So again, you could not put a fence. The purpose is for utility trucks to go through there if they need to. Emergency vehicles to go through if they need to. So as far as landscaping, if you want to make it nice, we prefer it, but knowing that it's not your property, if something happens on there, it can be destroyed, and it's at your cost, nobody else's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's important not to block them.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's on your property, it's really district property or county property or something that they need to access occasionally. So,
yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, I learned a lot about weeds and landscaping tonight. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add that you forgot to say?
No, I think I'm okay.
No.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us for Metro Musings.
Thank you.
Thank you.